Hey guys, and welcome to my 1000 subscriber Q&A special. Thank you very much for clicking on this video. So I was so excited to make this video that I even bought the cake and I bought the 1000 candles. The only thing I didn't anticipate was that from where I was sat, it did actually say 1000, but from the camera's angle, it says 0001. So I accidentally made a 1 subscriber special. Anyway, welcome to my 1 subscriber special. Thank you so much for all your support.
1,000 subscribers, we made it. It's weird, 1,000 subscribers isn't that much when you look at other accounts and stuff, but I've worked really hard for this, and I always told myself that when I hit 1,000 subscribers, I'll buy myself a cake. And I almost wasn't going to do it. I was like, no, it's cringe or something. Then I was in Morrison's, I was looking at the cakes, and I was like, get a cake, and get the 1,000 candles. And you know what? I'm going to keep these, and hopefully one day I can keep buying more zeros to add to the end of the next cake as I get to 10,000, 100,000, I don't know, 1 million. So I've already got the resources here, so hopefully that can manifest. Anyway, like I said, thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. And also, welcome to the Q&A. Thank you very much if you asked me a question, because in my head I was like, oh my gosh, it's going to be so embarrassing if I make a post being like, hey guys, I need questions for a Q&A, and nobody gets back to me. So thank you. I got some really good questions and I'm looking forward to making this video. Let's have some cake. Oh, yum. I went for a caterpillar cake. It just kind of looked the nicest and the most fun. I quite like the concept of a caterpillar cake, so that's pretty good. It's quite early in the morning. It's probably like 9 or 10 or... No, it's a bit later than that, it's 11. But basically what I'm trying to say is I just woke up. So it's not really the time to eat cake, but I will eat a little bit of cake to celebrate. Cool, so I saved the questions down on my phone and I'm just gonna go through them. I haven't really prepared answers, so let's just see how I get on. If you had to live through a historical art period, which would it be? Well, I'd really like to go and study at the Bauhaus, but the problem with that is that you end up having to deal with the Nazis, and I'm just not up for that. So I'd probably go for 1960s New York, like that time where painting and sculpture kind of lost their monopoly, and performance art, video art, installation art, and all these kind of expanded ideas of art were born, because it felt like a time of... I wasn't there, but it seems like a time of extreme artistic freedom where there was so much newness to explore and the rules were being changed and the people in that period of time could reinvent the rules of art. And that just seemed really exciting. So as much as I'd love to see the Bauhaus or the Dadas, I just think the Nazis kind of ruined it. So I'd go for 60s New York instead. Who are the YBA artists of today? I don't necessarily think we have YBA artists of today, as in we have successful young British artists, but I don't necessarily think the values are the same. To me, what the YBAs represent or symbolize is quite a close alignment with the art market, an embracing of big, expensive sculptural artworks, a kind of gritty Britishness, which I think some artists still carry. Rini Matic has a kind of sort of alternative vision of Britishness, which I think the YBA's also kind of had. But on the whole, I just don't think that our generation hold the same set of values or interests as the generation of artists from the 90s held. They were around during the time of Margaret Thatcher, and there was a lot of money in London at that time, and the markets were going crazy. Whereas, my generation at least, were kind of raised during a time of austerity, and I think our art reflects that in quite a lot of ways. We're quite anti-material. We don't like to create finished objects. I know that's a massive overgeneralization, but that's kind of what I see from where I'm at. So I wouldn't necessarily say that there are YBAs of today. What do you think of artists who have loads of employees and interns who make their art for them? I don't necessarily have a problem with artists employing people. Artists run as businesses, and basically all the big artists will have interns and employees to some degree. Like, I really, really like the work of Jeff Koons, especially some of his early work I think is so interesting, and he probably never even touched it. He just got his assistants to touch it. I do, however, think it's outrageous when they mistreat their employees. I don't think that's acceptable, and I think that's something that, as an art world, we need to refuse to tolerate. Like, there is a massive problem with powerful art people being really horrible to people who are not powerful but are in the art world. That's unacceptable, and I don't like that. So as long as the assistants and the employees are being well compensated and treated with respect, I don't have a problem with assistants in the art world. I think it's fine. What is your process for making a video? So every video starts with like an idea. I have to know what I want to make a video about. Then I'm going to seek out some different like resources. Like I'll try and read a book about whatever the topic is. I'll do some research on the internet. I'll look for YouTube videos or podcasts on that topic. And the research phase actually takes ages, but it's very rewarding because I love reading. Once I've read enough, I'll write a script, and that, don't know, takes a couple of days. Once I'm happy with the script, I'll then film a video using the script. And once I film the video, I edit. The editing is a bit long. I'd rather not do that. If I was really rich, I would pay someone to edit my videos for me. But for now, I'm editing them. And once I've edited them, I make a thumbnail and I upload them. And yeah, that's pretty much the process. What I'm trying to do now is, rather than make one film start to finish, another film start to finish, I have like 4 films on the go at once. It's more efficient to film multiple videos at once, which is why if you look at my YouTube channel, sometimes I'm in the same place wearing the same clothes in 2 videos. Hey, but wait, no. And that's because it's more efficient to do it like that. Bella, you're in the screen. This is my dog, Bella. I love her. Love you. What do you despise most about the art world, and who is your artistic enemy? So the thing I despise the most about the art world, and this is the thing that basically stopped me becoming an artist, is the behavior of powerful people within the art world. So maybe like 5 or 6 years ago, I was an intern at the Victoria Mirror Gallery, and it was just the most cold and unfriendly environment I've ever been in. Like, I was uncomfortable asking questions. Everyone was just really rude, and like, I was interning there for free, and just no one had any time to be nice, and I found it really uncomfortable. I only lasted like 2 weeks, and then I quit. Actually, like, I stormed out because the receptionist was like, "Oh, you need to bring wine to the director's house in Bloomsbury. We're going to put you in a cab." And I was just like, I just didn't see the point of doing that job. So I said, "I'm really not enjoying being here, and I don't think it's fair that you're using free labor in one of the most expensive cities in the world, and everyone's really unfriendly." I quit and I walked out, and I've never been back to Victoria Mirror Gallery since. So Victoria Mirror Gallery is my artistic enemy. Who do you look up to most in art, and why? Another great question. Thank you so much, whoever asked that. For a very, very long time, my creative hero was Kanye West. Mostly, I was just so impressed by his ability to constantly create new sounds and new aesthetics, and the way he was able to command an entire genre. Like, through every album he dropped, everyone would follow what he's doing next, because what he was doing was so like cutting edge and advanced. He was so on top of his genre. And I understand that Kanye has come out and said some really terrible things, which I do not advocate for at all, but I also can't deny that it had a huge influence on me and my understanding of aesthetics and my understanding of sound and creativity. I'm also massively influenced by a lot of YouTubers. Like, I think Philosophy Tube is a genius, and I don't think I would have started a YouTube channel if it wasn't for Philosophy Tube. I'm also really inspired by a podcast called the Blind Boy Podcast. It's basically this Irish guy who just tells incredible stories and talks in such a absorbing way. Like, it really helped me to understand the power of a good storyteller. Like, that's definitely having a massive influence on me and my content, because I do aspire to become a better storyteller, a better explainer of things, and to be able to create these really interesting links between different topics. And in terms of like visual art, I really like artists who are funny and artists who don't take themselves too seriously. I remember going to an exhibition by this Welsh guy called Bedwyr Williams at the Barbican, like, I don't know, maybe like 5 years ago. And it was just really funny. Like, everything about it was funny. And I was like, oh yeah, art doesn't have to take itself so seriously. It can just be like this hilarious thing that is also really profound. And I really, really enjoyed that. So yeah, Bedwyr Williams, I really like him. Yeah, it's weird actually. I think I'm more inspired by people who aren't like visual artists who display in galleries. Like, I love like David Lynch's films. And then I'm so interested in visual artists, but I couldn't like pick one who has inspired me loads. I don't know. Weird. Anyway, thank you for that question. Is there an art exhibition or experience that completely changed your understanding of art? Well, like I mentioned just in the previous question, I went to this exhibition by Bedwyr Williams. It was at the Barbican maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I'm not sure. And it really helped me understand that art can and should be really funny. And I really enjoyed that. And when I have made art, I've really aspired towards that kind of thing. Like making art that's both deep and funny. I think that that's a really nice balance to hit. Before I became like a video artist, because I was a video and performance artist for a long time. Before that, I was like an expressionist painter. And I remember seeing this painting by Leon Kosov in the National Gallery. And I remember being blown away by like how much sadness can be in one painting. Like, it felt so purely like sad and miserable. It's like the painting equivalent of the song Creep by Radiohead. And I found that really inspiring, just how much emotion could be packed into a single painting. And I really liked the thickness of it as well. And that was quite a big moment for me. So yeah, I'll say that painting as well. Do you have a TikTok channel? Yes, I do have a TikTok channel. It is Art Theories on TikTok. I'm trying to take TikTok a lot more seriously because people keep telling me I need to make YouTube shorts and I need to make TikToks. That's the way to grow a following on the internet these days. And I am very inspired by the things I see on TikTok. And I have to say, like, I'm quite new to TikTok. There's a lot of content out there that's actually really educational and interesting and inspiring. And I was one of those like classic millennials who just thought TikTok was trash, but actually it's fantastic. There is a danger that I get too absorbed in scrolling TikTok, and also like I do want to make TikToks, but I don't want it to become my main thing. So I'm still trying to find that balance between making long form content and then shorts. I made a video which did pretty well. It got like 40,000 clicks on TikTok. That was fun. I'm definitely going to make a part 2 to that. And that kind of showed me TikTok has this like explosive potential that YouTube hasn't shown me yet. Like my YouTube videos, they kind of slowly rise, but my TikTok videos, they can just kind of go. That's really cool, and I can see how that would help me to create a following much more quickly. But I do find it more satisfying in the long run to make long form content for YouTube. I learn more from it, I gain more from it. And the thing is that they keep getting views. Like I made videos 2 years ago that might still get 10 views a day now. For me, that's really cool because it's evergreen. It continues to give. Yeah, so I'm trying to find a balance between the two, basically. Thank you for that question. What's your favorite art movement? Well, I'm really interested in the Dada movement. I just think it's really like chaotic and punk and crazy. And I've wanted to make a video about Dada for ages. I just haven't got around to it. I also think the Bauhaus is super interesting. And like I said before, the whole kind of, I don't know what you call it, but the 1960s New York thing where like performance art, video art, installation art all exploded. I find that really interesting. And also land art. Lots of art YouTube channels focus on practical skills and don't talk about art theory or art history. Do you think it makes a difference for an artist to have a strong grounding in art theory or art history? It's a really good question. Yeah, there are loads of YouTube channels that focus on art skills, like how to draw in a certain way, how to paint in a certain way. And I think those are really valuable for people who want to learn how to draw and paint. However, what you'll notice is that that's not the art you see if you go into a gallery space, because the work we see in a gallery space is normally not focused on drawing or painting anymore. It's contemporary art. and the rules are very different. And I don't believe you can make contemporary art unless you understand a little bit of art history and art theory. That's because contemporary art, ultimately, it's intensely theoretical, which is why so many people go into a gallery and don't really get it, because unless you're initiated in the art theory that's going on, it won't make sense and you won't know how to take part. And I think it's a massive shame that we, as a culture, don't initiate more people, because the art world is trying to create exclusivity. We all know that. And I really hope that with this YouTube channel, I can create a gateway into the culture of art theory that will help people to access contemporary art. It's really important that we have a grasp on this. Otherwise, we can't really make art that resonates with today's culture. What's your favorite galleries, museums, and art spaces? Well, I actually made a whole video about my favorite art galleries in London, which you can go ahead and watch. I personally love the Institute of Contemporary Arts in London. I used to work there and I wasn't always happy working there, but there's just something about it. It has a vibe, and I love the exhibitions they put on. I love the vibe in there. I love hanging out in there and getting a drink there, and there's just something very magical about that particular gallery, which I love. I love the Hayward Gallery in London. I love the Whitechapel Gallery. I love the Barbican. Yeah, so there's a lot of galleries. I only really know galleries in London. Like, I don't really know that much about galleries in other cities, but I would definitely recommend watching that video if you want to know what are my thoughts on all the London galleries, because I did talk about a lot of London galleries in that video, so I do recommend you watch it. What are your favourite films and documentaries? I really, really like David Lynch's work, especially Twin Peaks. I thought that was a masterpiece, and actually that's a piece of culture which really influenced me when I was an art student, is the TV series Twin Peaks. My favorite film is School of Rock by I don't even know who the director is, the one with Jack Black. I love that film. That's childhood favorite film. I really, really like it. There's a Chilean filmmaker called Alessandro Jodorowsky, and he made a film called The Holy Mountain. I think that's such a cool film, really amazing. Just so rich, so deep, so interesting, so weird and unexplainable. Yeah, I think those are my favorite films. I also love I love The Wire, I love The Sopranos, that sort of thing. Do you make art these days? Can we see some? I don't really make art anymore. I was really put off making art by my experiences in galleries in London. I just didn't want to take part in the culture anymore, which is kind of why I shifted to making YouTube videos about art, so I could still explore the world of art, but in a different way, and in a way which meant I didn't have to rely on galleries or powerful art world people. However, I do have some old art here which I can show you. I'm going to show you some of my old paintings first, but then I can also show you some clips from some of my old performance pieces as well, because I was a performance artist for a long time. So first up, we've got a self-portrait. I actually made this in secondary school. What do you think? Does it look like me? I look a bit kind of worried or sad there, but I probably was worried and sad actually. Secondary school wasn't a good time. But yeah, so there's that. I also made this one in secondary school, and the funny thing about secondary school art is the focus is entirely upon doing realistic paintings of people's faces, maybe with slightly more intensified colours. And I remember I did this painting and I really got a confidence boost from that, because I was like, yeah, I'm good at art now. I can paint faces realistically. And it took me quite a long time to realise that realistic paintings of faces is not the end goal of art. It's just what everyone tries to do at secondary school for some reason. I think I showed you these ones in a TikTok recently, but I've got this kind of cool painting of a dinosaur with the planet. That's kind of cool. And last but not least, we've got this painting of Bowser, which I actually am very happy with. I really like this painting. I think it's great. So like I said, I also did a lot of performance art, and I'm just going to put a few clips of performance art on the screen right now so you could see the sort of things that I was doing. I really enjoyed performance art, and I was doing it for quite a while. I honestly think COVID maybe killed performance art for me, because obviously to do performance art you need events, and before COVID I was being invited to go places and make performances, and that was really fun. I really enjoyed it. But then when the lockdowns happened, obviously the opportunities to make performance dried up, and then after COVID I was kind of like on this new path of becoming an art teacher. And yeah, so that kind of fizzled out. But it was a fun phase, and it helped me to understand what I like and don't like about performance art. So yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to my Q&A. I hope it was interesting. Thanks for asking questions. And most importantly, thank you so much for all your support. I genuinely was so happy to hit 1,000 subscribers, and couldn't have done it without you. So thank you very much.